Hello and welcome to another demo from fipgauges.com. Today we're looking at the VAC and AMPS gauge, and as you can see on the main dial we've pretty much just got the two needles. The ranges are fixed for the VAC between 3 and 7 and the AMPS are fixed between minus and plus 60 amps. Now there's no customization of these needles, they simply just show you the values from the aircraft. The gauge is designed for light aircraft, Cessna and things of that nature, where the readings fall within the values shown on the gauge itself. Now I'll cover off the side menu, the side gauges. Now we have electrical readings here for the amps that's been drawn, the voltage of the battery and the current load on the system. Now we're not drawing any amps because the alternator is on at the moment, and if we turn the alternator off then you can see suddenly we're now getting a pull of the amps, so the amps are drawing 11 amps. Now if we turn the alternator back on you can see that we're not drawing any amps again now. So these are quite useful readings showing the current draw, the current voltage of the battery and the load as well. Now we can turn the battery on and off using the S1 key, and we can turn the alternator off as well. Now when there's no voltage, and like my other volt gauge, if the voltage falls below a set minimum then all your electronics will turn off. And this will turn off the electronics on all of my gauges, and that's a very useful function. Now I'll show you how to set the minimum voltage in a moment. Okay, we're not using the S2, 3, 4 and 5 keys, so feel free to program those as you see fit. Now I'll cover the mini menu on this because it will actually show you where to set the minimum voltage before the electrics turns off. Now over on the right hand side we have the blue LED, that's the indicator for the menus. If you haven't already checked out our guide on mini menus then please go and check that out first of all. To activate the mini menu I'll just turn on the right dial, and the first option is the instructions. If we turn the left dial, that will toggle the instructions for this gauge on and off, and it simply shows you what the functions are for the menus. The second option is the side buttons. Now turning the left dial will toggle those side buttons on and off, and you can program those labels and buttons in SPAD.neXt as you see fit. I'll have a separate tutorial on buttons and button labeling, so please go and check that out first as well. We'll turn those off for now. Next option is LED bars on and off. So if you don't like the LED lighting then you can turn those on and off, you don't have to display those, but it will still show you the digital values as well anyway. So you have the option of making those LEDs visible or not. We'll turn those on. And the last option is where we set the minimum voltage. So I've currently got that set to 23. Now if we can change that value using the left dial, and it gives an indication of the control here, and it's showing the left to turn left and right, and as we spin that left and right the value of the minimum voltage changes. Now as I said, this is the value where we want all of our electrics on all of our gauges to turn off once that value has been reached. Now we're currently at 24 volts and I've set it to go off at 23 volts. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to turn the right dial all the way to the left until the mini menu disappears, and I'm now going to turn off the alternator. Now we're pulling minus 11 amps and you'll see that the battery voltage will start to drop. Now I'm going to turn on some of the electrics, and that hopefully should pull some more voltage. Okay, so you can see that the voltage is getting a lot lower. It's nearing 23. If it drops below the 23 mark then the electrical system will shut down. Now we've reached the minimum, but if it drops below the minimum at that point then you'll notice that all the electrics will then turn off. You can see that you've got the red lights here to indicate that your battery is being drawn, but also they'll turn off as well when all the electrics turns off. Anything electrical, as you can see, now has just gone out as a result of your voltage setting being too low. Now if I was to go back into the menu and make that low voltage set to 22, everything comes back on because I'm currently at 23, and the moment I hit the voltage and bring that up to 23 it goes out, or anything higher and it's out. But the moment you go below the current voltage and the electrics comes back on. So it's just a simple way of selecting when you want all your electrical systems to shut down because of low voltage. And we'll put that back to 24, and what we'll do is we'll turn off the menu with the right dial, and then we'll turn the alternator back on, and that'll start charging and provide voltage immediately. And you can see that the battery is still charging. Although the voltage is below the minimum currently, we're actually getting voltage from the generator. So the actual voltage is above the 24 that's required to keep the electric switched on. If I was to turn the alternator off, it's below the 24 and it'll all go out. Turn the alternator back on again, and we're back up and running with the electrical supply. And the green light is showing a positive charge, so that the battery is charging. So that's the VAC and AMPS gauge. I hope you found that useful. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and please leave any comments in the comments below, and check back our other demos soon.